Okay guys, so welcome to another exciting video from Pycoders Academy, Python focus video from Pycoders Academy. Okay, so in our previous video we were looking at the try and accept block, where we looked at some basic errors we have in Python, and we also looked at how to use those try and accept block to override those errors. Okay, so today we'll be doing a simple project or a simple example on how to use a try and accept block. Then we just move on to the date time model or the date model. Okay, so that's what we'll be doing in this video. So the first, we have two parts in this video. The first part is just the short project on the try and accept block. Okay, so let's start. Let's look at a simple project on the try and accept block. Okay, so let's say I have a list, my list being equal to some value. So okay, here should be my list being equal to some values. Okay, so let's say I have 1, 2, 0, and 5. Okay, so I have this first list, and let's say I want to divide these numbers by a number. So let's say I will ask for a number from the user. Then I will say, okay, so let me look at this. Okay, so input, then I will say enter a number. Okay, now I will just divide this number by these numbers in the list. Okay, so for I in my list, okay, what should we do? We just do number num, let's say num is equal, or okay, so I'll just give a list here. So my list modified is equal to empty. So I'll be just appending the divided numbers into that list. Okay, so let's see. Okay. Whew. Okay, so I will have num is equal to, then I'll say number divided by I. Okay, so I'll make here an integer, so int. Okay, now, okay, now I'll just do my list, sorry, yeah, my list underscore mode dot append our num. Okay, so we are dividing the number, we are dividing the number by the numbers inside the my list. Then we are just appending the results inside the my list mode list. Okay, so that's what we are doing this. Okay, so that's what we are doing in this video. But if you can see here, when we do this, it will reach a point where you will get an invalid. So let's try and see. So let me run this code and see. Okay, so I'll be asked a number, so I'll put any number 3. Okay, so you can see 0 division error here, so division by 0. Okay, so you have to work around this. So how will we do it? It's so simple. We just do try. Okay, now here should be tabbed. Then we just do an accept block here. So we are just using the try and accept block to just make this function. So since we have an error, which is a 0 division error, we know we can define an accept block for the 0 division error. Okay, so just do Okay, so except 0 division error. Okay, so division error. Okay, so we can either, let's say, change the zero division error as, let's say, a short form. So I'll just change it to as, let's say, as ZDE. So ZDE, like this. Now I have the for loop at the top, then I have the search block at the bottom. So I'll just do print the ZDE. Okay, so simple. Now let's run this code again. Okay, so I'll put 3 here. 3. Okay, so you can see how I have a division by 0 here. So what I'll be doing is I'll just print this, then I'll pass. Looking at this, we have the try block and we have the except block. So the try block actually just run the for loop. Now after running the for loop, it catches the error. So what I will do now is instead of putting it above the for loop, I will just put it below, like inside the for loop. So it will be for I, and let me cut this and put it here. Okay, so okay, now I will have the for loop above. So for I in, let's say, my list. Okay, now then the except block will be tabbed here. Okay, now instead of this, I'll just pass it, and let's see. Okay, now let's try and run this code and see. Okay, so let me enter 3. Okay, so division by 0, then the program quit. So now I'll just print okay, so I'll okay, so I'll just print out the my list mod, which contains the divided result. So what I got when I divided the things. Okay, so I'll just do my list mod. Okay, so now let's run this code. Okay, so I'll just use 3 here. Now you can see I have 3. So when I divide the 1 by 3, I'm getting, okay, so I inserted 3 here. So 3 divided by 1, I'm getting 3. Divided by 2, I'm getting 1.5. Then it skipped the 0. Why? Because we used the except 0 division error. Now we caught the error here. After getting the error, we pass the 0. So instead of stacking at the 0 number, it moved to the 5. Okay, so that's what we are doing here. So we just run the for loop. Now it tries the numbers. If it encounters a 0, it skips it and moves to the next one. But when it skips it, it just prints division by 0 as we have here. Okay, so we can try another one. Okay, so 5. So you can see 5.0, 2.5, and 1.0. Okay, so that's that for this video on try and accept project. So we move on to the date time model. So welcome to this section. So in our last session, we looked at a simple project on the try and accept block where we looked at the zero division error. Okay, so we will be continuing with the datetime model. So the datetime model is a model which contains all the models for the date, for the time, for hours, minutes, and so on. So when you want to work with time in Python, you need to look at this datetime model. Okay, so that's what we will be looking at. So the datetime model is actually the model that contains all the dates, methods, and so on. So it contains a whole lot of stuff. you won't be able to complete it in this video. So in maybe you can look more, like you can look on the official Python website to find more of the datetime model methods. Okay, so maybe I'll share the link in the description, so you just have a look and you'll be fine. Okay, so that these are the topics you'll be looking at in this video, though they are not all, but it's very basic and very important. So it covers the important part of the daytime model. Okay, so that's all the basis you need to have for the daytime model. Okay, so now let's look at the so I've explained the daytime model, which I said they contain the date models. So it can be the date, the time, the month, and so on. So it's all contain the daytime model. Okay, so quickly let's look at the daytime now. So the daytime now gives us the date and the time now. So as in now. So let's look at how to get it. So I will first import the daytime model. So date time. Okay, so this is the model we'll be using. So daytime model. Okay, now let's look at how to get the time now. So let's say now is equal to, let's let's say now is equal to the daytime. Okay, now daytime, then dots, then the daytime. Okay, will come. So we can just add. So there is a method inside the model which is called the daytime, which we'll be using. So the daytime method in the daytime model will contain a function called the now function, which will give us the date now and the time now also. So let's say daytime dot now. Okay, so this actually contains our date now and also the time. So let's just print out our now variable. So print now. Okay, now, okay, so to see output you need to run. Okay, so let's run this code and see. Okay, so you can see I have the date and the time here. So you can see I have 2021 third, let me say third, yeah, so the 3 is for March and the 7th is the day, and I have the time also here. Okay, so this actually gives us the date and the time now. Okay, so we can look at the today. So today function, which also gives us the function for today, like the date for today. So let me try and do it. So we change the now to today. Okay, so let's run this code and see. Okay, small hiccup. Okay, so you can see I have the date here also, then I have the time also here. Okay, so the now and today all gives us the dates and all gives us the time also. So if you want to get the date now, or you want to get the time now, you just use the date time today or the date time now. Okay, so let's look at the built-in method for the daytime model. So let's just do dir, so directory, then I will say date time. Okay, so this directory function will give us the built-in method inside for, okay, so the built-in method for the daytime model. So let's just run this code. Okay, so as you can see I have max here, I have min here. So this is the maximum here we can get, but we won't look at that, but we look at the date also. So I have the date, I have the date time, so we just use the date time, which we call the now method from the date time. Okay, then we have the time also. We have sys, we have time zone. Okay, so in this video we will just look at the date, the date and the date time model in this video. Okay, so you can just look for the time and time date, time delta outside this video. Okay, so this is the basic one. So
that's the directory function for the datetime model. Okay, so we move on to the date model. So that's what I was saying. So the date built-in method gives us the date, like the date we need. So maybe today's date, or to yesterday's date, or tomorrow's date, and so on. Okay, so let's look at this. So I'll just import. So let's say from, to make it easy, I'll just import it directly. So from datetime, import date. Okay, now I have the date. Now I'll just do date. Okay, now the date I'll be using is, it requires three parameters. So the year, so I'll say 2020. Then I'll say the month. Okay, then I'll say the month is, let's say, 04. Okay, so I have the year. Now I have the month, then I'll go to the day. Okay, so when we want to get the day, so just do day here. Okay, so the day should be 10. Okay, now, okay, here should be 4 rather. Okay, so now I have date. So this is the function, and we are passing the parameters. Okay, so now let's run this code and see. Okay, so this is the format for the date in Python. So this is the format. The year comes first, then the month follows, then the day also follows. Okay, so an automatic zero will be added in front of the month here, because we know the month is in 2 digits. Okay, so it will just add the zero there. Okay, so that's the date method. So this date method accepts three, let's say, three, let's say, parameters. So the first parameter is the year parameter, then the month, then the day. Okay, so we can move to see the date dot today. So let's say today's date. Okay, so we can just do date, then I'll say now dot today. Okay, so we can just run this code and see. mm, okay, missing function, missing required argument, position 1. Okay, so, okay, so I just cleared this. So okay, now let's do now dot today. Okay, so let me run this code and see. Okay, so you can see, first you need a parameter to start with. So let's say I needed a year, or I needed a month, or I needed a day to start from. Okay, so I inputted these parameters, which is the year, month, day. Then I just use the today function to get today's date. So as we did for the daytime today, so as we did here, it's the same way. It is the same output we are doing here. Okay, so we are getting 2021 third, which is the March. Then we have the 7th March. So this is the 7th March, 2021. Okay, so as at the time I'm making this video is 7th March 2021. Okay, so this the function we are looking at, the date method here. Okay, so we are done with the date method. You can find more out on your own, or we can just try and print out the year and month also, like year. Okay, so let's run this code and see. Okay, so, okay, let me, okay, so what we are doing here is that we are trying to get the year here. So as you can see, I have the year now, so 2021. Then I can also get the month here, so month. Okay, so yeah, I'm getting a 4 here. Okay, so, okay, I'm getting a 3 year rather, because I'm in this current, let's say, current date now. So that's the 3rd March. Okay, now I can also get the day, which is 7th. So okay, so I'm getting 7 here. So that's the date method for the date time model. Okay, so quickly we look at how to convert from the date time, let's say the date time syntax to the string data type. Okay, so let's look at I have something like now here. So let's say I have dates here. Okay, now let me do it date, then I'll say dot today. Okay, now I will clear this, then I'll say str. Okay, so what this str does is that it just convert the date we have to string form. Okay, so I can just format it out. So I can just use the formatting way. So put quotes here, then I'll say percentage, then I will let the year come first. Okay, so I will just try the month. Okay, so I'll make the month come first. So month forward slash the year. Okay, so the day, then the year. Okay, so it should be percent day. Okay, sorry, percent day, then I'll say percent year. Okay, so I have these three. So let's try and run this code and see. Okay, so when you run this code, you are getting 3, then forward slash 07, then forward slash 21. So that's the formatted way of the date time syntax. Okay, so we are just formatting the date, let's say the date time syntax to a string. So now we have converted this to a string using the string formatting method, which is you add the percentage sign, then the month. So we can change this to any form. I can just bring the day here, the month here, and the year follows. Okay, so we can just run this code and see. So let me try and run this code. Okay, so let me try and run this code. Ooh, okay, so let's run this code and see. Okay, so you can see 7th March 2021. So that's that for the okay, that's that for the daytime module. I guess you guys know the basics of the daytime model now. Okay, so in our next video, we will be looking at the how to open, let's say, text files in Python using the open model. Okay, so just watch out for that video. I hope you love this video. So in this video, we looked at a simple project on the try and accept blog, and we looked also on the daytime model. Okay, so thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, like this video and share it with